Hello everyone, this is Dr. Raksha Vaidya and today I am discussing about the salivary gland and its type. Here is the content of this topic. It is an introduction of the salivary gland, development of salivary gland, structure of terminal secretory unit, classification of salivary gland. There are two types of the salivary gland, major salivary gland and minor salivary gland. Nerve supply to salivary gland, effect of drug and chemical on salivary secretion. The conclusion of this topic and the references. Introduction of salivary gland. The oral cavity is a moist environment, a film of fluid called saliva. It constantly coats its inner surface and occupies the space between the lining oral mucosa and teeth. Saliva is a complex fluid produced by the salivary gland whose important role is maintaining the well-being of the mouth. Human saliva consists of organic and inorganic component and plays an essential role in mastication, in bolus formation, acts as a lubricant in swallowing, helps in speech production and protecting the mucosal surface of the oral cavity from the desiccation. The enzymes found in saliva are essential in beginning the process of digestion of dietary starch and fat. Saliva circulating in mouth at any given time is termed whole saliva. Saliva reflects the physiological state of body including emotional, endocrinal, nutritional and metabolic variation, also known as the body's mirror. According to the Stedman Dictionary, according to this, saliva is a clear, tasteless, odorless, and the acidic, viscous fluid consisting of the secretion from the parotid, sublingual, and submandibular salivary gland and the mucous gland of the oral cavity. Parotid, sublingual, and submandibular salivary gland are a major salivary glands. According to the Webster Medical Dictionary, the saliva is a watery, tasteless liquid mixture of a salivary and oral mucus gland, which secretes and it lubricates the chewing food, wets the oral cavity, and it contains the enzyme, mainly is a ptyalin, which function is the predigestion of the starch. In previous slide, we know about the saliva according to the Webster Medical Dictionary and Stedman Dictionary. The important enzyme of saliva is ptyalin, which is the responsible for the predigestion of starch in oral cavity. Now, I will start the topic salivary gland. Development of salivary gland. All salivary glands shows a similar pattern of development. They develop from the mesenchyme. Mesenchyme cell divided and it forms the oral epithelial buds. Oral epithelial buds. This oral epithelial buds has two layers. One is ectodermal and second is endodermal. The parotid gland and minor salivary gland develops from the ectodermal cells layer and the submandibular and sublingual gland develops from the endodermal cells layer. The development of salivary gland in fetal life. The sublingual gland appears after the 7 to 8 weeks of fetal life. Minor salivary gland begin their development during the third month. The epithelial bud grows and growing and gradually develop the lumens and become a duct. The secondary portion develop later than the duct system and formed by repeated branching and budding of the finer cell cords and duct. Canalicular stage. It is most important stage in the salivary gland. Since the salivary glands are formed from the solid core of epithelial cell, for the proper functioning of the gland, the duct needs to undergo the cavitation to allow free access between the saliva, acini and oral cavity. So this is a path is known as the canalicular stage. Here it is a picture of the terminal secretory unit. Here it is main duct. Main duct divided in two parts. It is called the interlobular duct. Interlobular duct again divided in intralobular duct. Intralobular duct again divided in a intercalated duct. Here it is a intercalated duct which is made up of actinous cells, serous cells and the mucous cell. So salivary glands are made up of the cells which are arranged in small groups around the central globular cavity called the actinous and the alveolus. The central cavity is continuous with the lumen of the duct. Here it is a fine duct. It draining the each actinous is called the intercalated duct. Many intercalated ducts join together and form a interlobular duct. Two or more intralobular ducts join to form a interlobular duct, which unite and form the main duct of the gland. The gland with this type of structure and duct system is called the racemose type. Racemose means the bunch of the grapes. So here it is a classification of salivary gland. First one is according to the size and the location, and second one is according to the histochemical nature of secretory product. First is according to size and location. There are two types of salivary gland, major and minor. Major salivary gland, it has a parotid gland, submandibular gland and sublingual gland. In minor salivary gland, there are 5 types of minor salivary gland. First one is a lingual mucus, second is a lingual serous, buccal gland, third one, fourth one is a labial gland and the fifth and last one is a palatal gland. So here I am discussing about the parotid gland, which is major salivary gland. Parotid gland is the largest salivary gland. It is irregular and wedged in shape and it is unilobular. The weight of this gland is 14 to 28 gram and it provides the 60 to 65% of total salivary volume. The size of this gland is 5.8 centimeter from the craniocaudal dimension and the ventrodorsal dimension is 3.4 centimeter. These glands are situated at the site of face just below and in front of the ear. The main parotid duct leaves mesial angle of gland, transfers over the masseter, it pierces the buccinator and then enters the oral cavity, buccal to the maxillary first molar. Parotid duct is about 35 to 40 mm long and mainly serous in secretion. Submandibular gland. This is the second major salivary gland, submandibular gland. It is also called the submaxillary gland. It is irregular and walnut in shape. The weight of this gland is the 10 to 15 gram and it produces the 20 to 30% of total salivary volume. It is located in the submandibular triangle of the neck, inferior and lateral to the mylohyoid muscles. The posterior superior portion of the submandibular gland curve up around the posterior border of mylohyoid muscle and gives rise to Wharton duct. Wharton duct passes forward along the superior surface of mylohyoid muscle adjacent to the lingual nerve. It is 2 to 4 mm in diameter and it about the 5 centimeter in length. Wharton duct open at the side of frenulum of tongue by the means of a small opening of the papilla. This papilla is called the caruncula sublingualis. Sublingual salivary gland. Sublingual salivary gland is the smallest major salivary gland. It produces the 2 to 5% of the total salivary volume, each of the size and shape of an almond. The weight of this gland is 3 to 4 grams. This gland lies beneath the mucosa floor of the mouth, above the mylohyoid muscle, medial to the mandible, and lateral to the genioglossus series of the small ducts. The duct of sublingual gland are called the Bartholin duct. In most cases, Bartholin duct consists of 8 to 20 smaller ducts of Rabinus. These ducts are short and small in diameter. It opens into a oral cavity at the sublingual fold on either side of the tongue. Now started the minor salivary gland. Minor salivary gland are 5 types. The minor salivary gland are located beneath the epithelium in almost all parts of the oral cavity. These glands usually consist of several small group of secretory units and opening via short duct directly into the mouth. There are 600 to 1000 minor salivary glands lying in the oral cavity and oropharynx. The minor salivary glands are classified according to their anatomic location. So, according to the anatomic location, it is 5 types. The minor salivary gland is a 5 types. Labial gland, buccal gland, glossopalatine gland, palatine gland, and the lingual gland. Here I am discussing about the labial and buccal gland. Labial gland is situated beneath the mucous membrane around the orifice of the mouth. They are circular in form and about the size of small peas. Their duct open by minute orifice upon the mucous membrane. Buccal gland present between the mucous membrane and the buccinator muscle. Second one is the glossopalatine gland. Glossopalatine gland are a purely mucous gland. It secretes the mucus only. They are principally localized to the region of the isthmus in the glossopalatine fold. Palatine gland and lingual gland. They both are the minor salivary gland. Palatine gland, it is consist of the several glandular tissues. Here glandular tissue aggregated in the lamina propria of posterior region of hard palate and in the submucosa of soft palate. It means this gland present between the hard palate and the soft palate. The opening of the duct on the palatal mucosa are often large and easily recognized. Fourth one is the lingual gland. Lingual gland is a tongue gland. It is divided into a several groups. First is the anterior lingual gland. Location, it located near the apex of the tongue. The anterior region of this gland are chiefly mucus in character, whereas the posterior region is a serous in nature. So this is a gland is a mixed in nature. In previous slide, we discussed about the anterior lingual mucus gland. Here I am describing about the posterior lingual mucus gland. Posterior lingual mucus gland, it is located in the lateral and posterior to the vallet papillae and in the association with the lingual tonsil. Third one is the posterior lingual serous gland because the posterior gland which secrete the mucus and serous both the product. So the posterior lingual serous gland, it is called the von Ebner gland. It is located in the between the muscle fiber of the tongue below the Violet papillae. Here it is a picture of oral cavity which showing the location of the minor salivary gland in a oral cavity. Serous gland are located in the mid-tongue, mucous gland in the palate, and mixed gland in the lip, cheek and tip of the tongue. So, according to the histochemical nature of secretory product, the salivary gland are three types: serous gland, mucous gland and mixed gland. In serous gland, they are which gland which produce the serous. It means it secretes the only the serous. This type of gland is made up of serous cell predominantly. This gland secrete thin and watery saliva. Parotid gland and the lingual gland are serous gland. Second one is the mucous gland. Mucous gland, this type of the gland are made up of mucous cell. These glands secrete thick and viscous saliva with more mucin. Lingual mucus, buccal gland and palatal gland belong this type. Mixed gland are made up of both serous and mucous cells. Submandibular, sublingual and lacrimal gland are the mixed gland. Nerve supply of salivary gland. Salivary gland are under the control of autonomic nervous system. It receives the efferent nerve fiber from the both parasympathetic and sympathetic division of autonomic nervous system. Parasympathetic fiber, the parasympathetic fibers supplying the salivary gland arises from the superior and the inferior salivatory nuclei, which are situated in pons and medulla respectively. Parasympathetic fiber to submandibular and sublingual gland. The parasympathetic preganglionic fiber to submandibular and sublingual gland arise from the superior salivatory nucleus, which is situated in the pons. After taking origin from this nucleus, the preganglionic fiber pass through nervous intermediates of Brisberg, geniculate ganglion, the motor fibers of facial nerve called the tympanic branch of facial nerve and lingual branch of trigeminal nerve, and after this finally reach the submaxillary ganglion. In previous slide, we discussed about the parasympathetic fibers to the submaxillary gland and sublingual gland. Here we are discussing about the parasympathetic fiber to parotid gland. The parasympathetic preganglionic fiber to parotid gland arise from the inferior salivatory nucleus, which is situated in the upper part of the medulla oblongata. From here, it means from the medulla oblongata, the fiber pass through the tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve, tympanic plexus and lesser petrosal nerve and end at otic ganglion. The postganglionic from otic ganglion reach the parotid gland by passing through the auriculotemporal branch in mandibular division of trigeminal nerve. Sympathetic fibers. The sympathetic preganglionic fiber to salivary gland arise from the lateral horn of the first and second thoracic segment of spinal cord. It means it arises from the spinal cord. The fibers leave the spinal cord through the anterior nerve root and end in superior cervical ganglion of the sympathetic chain. The postganglionic fiber from the ganglion are distributed to salivary gland along the nerve plexus around the arteries supplying the gland. Conclusion of this topic: the salivary gland play an important role in our life because it produces the saliva which play an important role in patient quality of life. In dental professional need to be aware of the problem that arises when there is an overproduction or underproduction of saliva and also a change in its quality. This knowledge enables early diagnosis, treatment and if possible prevention of problem. Checking the patient medical history regularly can identify condition or medication that can be adversely influence saliva production. Here it is the references. Development of salivary gland. All salivary glands shows a similar pattern of development. They